Hey there, how you guys doing tonight? Thank you so much for tuning in. You have reached Conversations with Teresa. I'm your host, Teresa Aline, and as always, very excited to be here. I'm always thinking about you, always thinking about what I'm going to share. And one of the things that I came to I don't know, I think about this all the time, but I was just thinking, I'm just going to keep sharing my life, keep sharing all the things that may not be so easy to come out of other people's mouths. I say whatever I need to say, and I said what I said. That's one of those things, right? But I caught myself thinking this week that maybe I'm not handling life very well anymore. And sometimes again we get those thoughts in our head. Sometimes they're critical thoughts or things like that, but that's what I was kind of feeling like I'm not handling this quite so well anymore. Or maybe I wasn't as strong as I used to be. And then I had a different thought, and I thought, like, maybe it's not that I'm weak or anything like that. Maybe I'm just overloaded. No, not even a maybe. I've been overloaded. And sometimes I believe as women, we don't give ourselves enough space to be overloaded. We just think like we have to keep going, right? Because that's what strong women do. We just keep going. And sometimes it's not even the strong women, it's just women, right? We have so many responsibilities, and yeah, we just kind of keep going. But so that's one of the things that's been on my I don't know, heart, mind, in my face lately. But what about you? Like, have you ever felt like you were falling behind, or wondered if like why everything all of a sudden it feels and seems so much harder? But today it's not about trying harder. It's not about trying harder. I do believe that this time in our lives, it calls us to ask different questions. Not why are we not able to do this? And we'll get to that question later. But we all have these stories or these events that change our perspective on things, right? So I want to share with you. Maybe you've heard this before, maybe you haven't. Depends on how long you've been around me. Uh, I want to tell you, it's kind of like an empowering story. It seems kind of cheesy at first, but tell you my printer story. So, in one of the heights of my perimenopause, brain fog, I can't do anything right moments, we had this printer, and this printer is awesome. I love my printer. And then I think we changed carriers, or we changed something with our internet, and then we couldn't get the printer to work. Could not get this printer to work for anything. Days. Printer is just not working. And I was just feeling so defeated. And then my brother-in-law came, who is like super, super tech savvy, and he couldn't get it to work either. And I was, secretly doing my happy dance, like, okay, it's not me, right? I assumed that my brain fog was the reason I couldn't figure it out. But it wasn't. It was just some techie something something that wasn't working well, you know? So it wasn't that the printer was broken, and it wasn't that I was broken, and that was a big deal for me to, like, I felt like I finally had a win. Like, yes, it's not me. And I'm sure that some of you guys can relate to that. So sometimes we're just far too quick to blame ourselves. It doesn't even have to be the story. So here's another example. As I mentioned before, a few months ago, I was going to do a TEDx talk, and did all the prep work, all the weeks of coaching and all of that stuff. And we're supposed to be ready. Obviously, the weeks leading up to it, more and more ready, get all the jitters out. And the night before, I'm talking about 12 hours before, I just didn't have it in me. And I am on the stage, everybody's practicing, and everyone does have the jitters. But they're working through what they're gonna say. And I had no words. And so maybe 2 weeks after that, I had another conference to speak at. And obviously, I was feeling like, I'm not sure. Am I going to do the same thing? I don't know. But the reality was that it was a different space, you know? And that Aligned Women's Conference was what I was getting ready for. And I did great. That sounds really pompous, and I don't mean to sound it that way, but it was good. It was natural. It was free. It flowed really, really well. At the TEDx, my brain, it just couldn't do what I needed it to do. But then a couple of weeks later, the very same things that I was going to talk about, it came out so naturally. And so the problem, it wasn't that I didn't have anything left to give, or that I suddenly just don't know this thing. It was just that I was carrying such incredible loads. But when the timing and the environment was right and the expectations were different, I was able to show up. And I was so thrilled about that. Again, another win. One last story that I'll share is when I got laid off. And, I still smile when I got laid off. It's very different. Everyone has different things about that. But, it was really a great time for me. I felt really, really blessed because I was really just feeling all of those menopausal, the body, the brain fog, the achiness. I was feeling all of that stuff. But then I had a moment to be able to feel it, and I got a chance to slow down and really think about what it is that I wanted to do with this amazing next chapter of my life. It doesn't always feel amazing, I ain't gonna lie, but it is an amazing time because I got a chance to slow down and listen to my body, listen to my head, all of that stuff. It was just a perfect time. And it allowed me to learn all the things that I wanted to learn, or do what I love doing. I get a chance to do this, right? I get a chance to work closely with my husband and my son. It is so great. It gave me such clarity when we stopped carrying all the things that we weren't meant to carry. And in all honesty, that job wasn't meant for me to carry. It was a great job. It was a wonderful, actually, really great place to work, but it just wasn't for me. And that's fine. So as a takeaway, it dawned on me that I had been spending a lot of time trying to become stronger, but maybe the strength is not what I needed. Maybe what I needed was just to stop carrying so much. I keep saying maybe. I don't mean maybe. You may be feeling like I can't do this, can't do that anymore. I'm feeling overwhelmed. But that doesn't mean that you're weak. It doesn't mean that you are just done. Feeling exhausted doesn't mean that you're failing. Having limits doesn't mean that you've lost your purpose. So today, it isn't about trying harder to carry everything. It's about asking a different question. What now really matters for you and for me to carry? And what can I let go or share the load with someone? And I want you to think about that one thing. Just don't go too crazy. Think about one thing that you could set down this week or ask someone for help with, or simply stop expecting yourself to carry all by yourself. I had an amazing friend of mine lots of friends, and they're like, oh, how can I help? How can I, serve you? How can I encourage you for different reasons? And one friend, Chris, brought over groceries. And I would not have even thought to ask someone to bring over groceries. Came home, there was avocado, there were peaches, there was chicken wings, like already made, right? Pizza, like the one that you put in the oven, like super, super easy things. And I was like, huh, that was so awesome. But I didn't even have the forethought to ask for that. So sometimes we can ask for the help. Sometimes we just need someone just to give it to us. But she carried that load for me. And man, oh man, that was just so great. I did put it out. I put it out there to my friends that, like, hey, I was having a kind of a hard time. We get emotional. We get hard times. And she came through. And I'm so appreciative of her and our friendship for over 30 years. Oh my gosh, that was magical. Thank you so much, Chris. I hope you're listening. And anyone who knows Chris, make sure that you tell her how appreciative I am. But back to the story. I really want you guys to give yourself permission to feel those things, permission to offload some of your responsibilities, permission to set something down. And remember that you are not alone in this. I got you. So until next week, I look forward to seeing you guys on Conversations with Teresa. Don't forget to like and subscribe and tell a friend. Look forward to seeing you guys next week.